Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. I thought I'd show some of the new vinyl I got throughout this month. Some are Christmas presents from members of family. Some are Christmas presents from me to me, even though I didn't wrap them or anything. I'm not that bad, but I tend to keep a few albums back for the big day. And it seems to be a case that whenever shops are shut for 1 day or 2 days, people tend to go mad, and I do that as well with the vinyl, especially for last ordering times on Discogs or eBay or Amazon or whatever, and you feel as if I don't get it now I'll never get it and I must order it straight away. It's like going into a shop and buying 6 loaves of bread because the shop's shut for a day. It is ridiculous, but I can't help it. So there's quite a few albums, all new, that I'm going to show. A lot of them are albums I bought to replace CDs, but some are I've never heard before. So we'll get started, and this is one that I've never heard before, and I thought this was great. This is the Runaways. This is their debut album with Joan Jett and what do you call the girl, Curry, what's her name? Sherry Curry, Lita Ford, Sandy West and Jackie Fox. This is just in your face rock and roll. I think these girls are great. I do have another couple of Runaways albums that I bought second hand, which I'll show in a next video, but I really enjoy this band. I love Joan Jett. I've really got into Joan Jett over the past couple of years or so. I think it's an influence from the VC, to be honest with you. But it's unpretentious, good. It's kind of glam rock with a tint of the heaviness in there, like not heavy metal or anything like that, it's just a wee bit heavy rock, but it's very glam rock influenced, and I think it's a great little album. This is the one with Cherry Bomb, When You're Driving Me Wild on it. So very good album. The girl I've shown in the last couple of videos, this is Paloma Faith's third album, and this is a perfect contradiction. This is another fantastic LP. I just love her voice, I really do. And this has got Can't Rely on You and the huge hit, what's it, Only Love Can Hurt Like This, which I think is an absolutely beautiful song. And if you ever want to hear about the stories of how it was offered to her from Diane Warren, check out YouTube. She was on the Alan Carr show and she tells the story. It's absolutely hilarious. So this is Paloma Faith's third album, A Perfect Contradiction. And to make up the set, I got the fourth album, and I saw it very cheap on Discogs. And this is The Architect, and this is better than what I realised. I had this in CD, played it a few times, thought it was it's alright, but the song Guilty and Crybaby are excellent. There's a little bit of politics involved in here as well, which I'm not too happy about, which I've mentioned on previous videos. I'm not too keen on politics in music. When it's called Politics of Hope, featuring Owen Jones, and he's a writer for The Guardian. But it's still an excellent album, and those covers are magnificent, really magnificent. She has fantastic album covers. So that's Paloma Faith, The Architect. This is a replacement for CD, or an upgrade as you would call it, and this is New Skin for Old Ceremony by Leonard Cohen, and this is another great album of his. This is the one with Chelsea Hotel No. 2, Lover Lover Lover, and the absolutely beautiful Who by Fire on it. Really good album. I think it's from around 1971 or so, I'm not 100% sure, but very good album. I know there's been a bit of Leonard Cohen showing on the VC lately with Norman Maslov and Pretty Green Vinyl Guy, but yeah, good album. I'm glad to have it on vinyl. Keith Richards and Main Offender, and this is his 1992 album, which I'm delighted to get. I've always liked it. It's never been fantastic, but it does sound much better on vinyl than it does on CD. Wicked as It Seems is the single off this, but things like Words of Wonder, which is very reggae tinged, I think it's great. It's a very, very good album. It's a strong album. Maybe not quite as good as his debut, Talk Is Cheap, but still very, very good album. And I got this one as well, and this was going extremely cheap. This was only about £12, and this is his last album. It's the double album, and it's called Cross-Eyed Heart, and this is his best album. This is absolutely fantastic. It's a good rocking album. There are little hints of that reggae sound of Keith Richards, but it is wonderful. Fantastic album. Love it. I got this, I held this one back for Christmas. Great. I've actually played it on Christmas Eve. Played it twice, and it's going to get spun again today. So this is from 2015, and this is the best Stones album really, because it is Keith Richards, since probably the Voodoo Lounge. Very, very strong album. Keith Richards, Cross-Eyed Heart. This is one I hemmed and hawed about getting, and I finally bought it. And it's the new Who album, and I was really surprised at this. This is actually a very good album. It kicks Endless Wire into touch, and also It's Hard, well, It's Hard was a rubbish album anyway, absolutely dreadful. But this is much, much better. You know, I could say it's better than Face Dances, but I've always had a soft spot for Face Dances, but this is up there. This is as good as their mid-70s work. It's as good as Who by Numbers anyway. Really enjoyable, and you know, some of the songs are very Who-like. All This Music Must Fade and Ball and Chain, I think, are very Who-like, but you get things like Break the News, which is like a wee folk song, and I think it really breaks the album up. It's really, really good. Excellent album, Who, from 2019. Just really Daltrey and Townsend, but yeah, I still call them the Who, even though there's no Endless Other Moon. So excellent album. Very surprised, very pleased. This one here arrived at the door on Christmas Eve, and this is to replace or to upgrade again the CD. This is Cloud Symbols by Graham Parker, and this is his album from 2018. It's a short album, but it's an extremely catchy album. Really well crafted, catchy songs. I think this is where Graham Parker has the edge over Elvis Costello now, because this guy can still write a melody where Elvis, well, what I've heard from the 2000s, a lot of his melodies are very strained. This one is very easy flowing songs. Really enjoy it. Cloud Symbols, Graham Parker from 2018. This one here I had on CD, and this is Squeeze's The Knowledge, and this is an absolutely brilliant album. I knew it was brilliant. The CD I played an awful lot, but this is on double vinyl 45 RPM, which I was very surprised about, but it sounds really good. The songs are just so strong on this album compared to what I felt were a bit forced, the ones on their 2015 offering, Cradle to the Grave. These I just think are just well crafted songs. Innocent in Paradise I think was the lead off single. A&E, Every Story, Rough Ride, which is a good funky number, and Albatross, which is an obvious steal from Tyrannosaurus Rex's Deborah at the start, but it's still a really strong song. Love this album, really, really good. Glad to have it in vinyl. This one I had CD as well. I bought this just to complete the collection. Well, it's not quite complete because there's a couple of early experimental albums which I don't want, and I finally got George Harrison's Brainwashed. Now, when this came out in vinyl, the reissue a couple of years ago was something like £30–35. I got this for 14, and I thought, yes, this will do me, and it sounds great. I really do enjoy this. Favourite song off this is Run So Far. It's one of his best ever songs, and I know that Eric Clapton covered that on one of his albums. But Any Road's a great number. Pisces Fish, Stuck Inside a Cloud. It is one of George's best. It's definitely in his top 5, and that's what I might actually try and do as a George Harrison ranking video, which may offend some people, but because my views on what was good George Harrison's not necessarily the same as everybody else's, but I may have a go at that sometime. So that's George Harrison's Brainwash from I think 2001, released about a year or so after he passed. Okay, this one here I got as a present, and this is Marc Bolan, electronic music. And this really is just his very early singles and B-sides and a few little demos. You've got The Wizard and The Third Degree, which were his first two singles, along with Hippie Gumbo. You also have a couple of John's children tracks like Desdemona, Midsummer Night's Scene. Really good stuff. You get the B-sides as well, although you don't get the B-side of The Third Degree, which is called San Francisco Poet. They've been very sneaky. They put it on a different album. This is from Easy Action Records, which really do give good reissues of Marc Bolan stuff. But they put it on a different album with a lot of demos from the beginning of Dove's sessions. It's just to make you buy the other one as well, but I'm not going to. This is good enough. I've got all this stuff on CD, but it's nice to have this on actual vinyl album with the photograph actually represents the music. You're not seeing a picture of Marc in 1972. This is him in 65, 66. So yeah, this is electronic music by Marc Bolan. Good album. And then my brother bought me this, and this nearly completes my Pink Floyd collection. And this is A Momentary Lapse of Reason. I always held off to the end for this one because I always thought I only liked Learning to Fly. But I played this twice last night and thoroughly enjoyed it. This is a good album. Okay, maybe it's a David Gilmour solo album, but it's still a damn good album. Really enjoyable. I don't think it's dated that much. A lot of people seem to think this is really rooted in the 80s. I don't think so. I just think it's very strong and enjoyable album. Of course, Learning to Fly is a highlight, but Sorrow's great. A New Machine Part 1 and 2 is very, very good. Dogs of War, One Slip, and the almost folky on the Turning Away I think is really good as well. So I thoroughly enjoyed this, and this is A Momentary Lapse of Reason. Now the big surprise that came to me was whenever my nephew handed me Christmas present yesterday, and normally he would get me something like a mug or a book or whatever, and he says open that first before I opened the Pink Floyd one, because I knew I was getting that. And he presented me with this, the Abbey Road box set, 3 vinyl set. I nearly fell off the chair. This is absolutely brilliant. Of course it is. I've got the CD of this Giles Martin remix, but never the album, and the bonus cuts, the sessions, are really, really strong. And I finally have on physical media the Goodbye, the little Paul McCartney home demo, which I think whenever you listen to that, that's whenever you realise that Paul McCartney was an absolute genius. So this is great to have. Absolutely delighted with it. I've played it all already, and some of the songs sounds really good. The long one with the Her Majesty in the middle, I think works really well. They were correct to change it and put Her Majesty at the very end of the album, but it does work well, and you can see whenever you listen to it that was really what they intended, was having Her Majesty in, because whenever you go back to listen to what was released, you know that there's a little section missing now. But yep, great album. It's one of the best albums ever released, and I'm just delighted to have it on the 3 LP set. But the biggest surprise for me was I bought one for myself, and I took a gamble on this, and I thought, well, it was cheap. I've got his first album, I've got his third album, and that's it. And that is Brian Eno, Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy. This was released in 1974. I always thought Brian Eno was a bit of a con artist, because I thought, you know, all he did with Roxy Music was twiddle a few knobs, and everyone went, wow, this is unbelievable. But he wrote all the songs on this, and they're very, very catchy, good songs. Some of them are quite twee, but they really do get under your skin, and they really stick there. And I've played this 3 times already, and I'm loving it even more. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. I do like his first album, Here Come the Warm Jets, but this one is just unbelievably good, from 1974. I don't really know the songs, you know, to name them, but the whole album flows so well. It does have a quirkiness, a little bit like sounds a little bit like Mick Ronson's first album, Slaughter on, is it 11th Avenue or 18th Avenue? One of the avenues anyway. it's got that sort of Mick Ronson-y voice and quirkiness, like songs like Growing Up and I'm Fine. But this is really, really strong, and this for me is probably, apart from the Beatles, is the catch of the latter part of this year without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely wonderful, and it's just credited to Eno, not even Brian Eno. So that is Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategies. So I'm actually going to play this one again today. So there you go, that's some of my purchases, presents and so forth for Christmas of 2019. And New Year's resolution is probably to try and cut down on the amount of vinyl and maybe give a little bit more respect to the CDs I have, because they're lying all over the place. So if I get into that, that'll keep my mind off the vinyl. So anyway, that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your holidays. All the best now. Bye bye.